T7M Radio brings to you the best of 7 sports talk with 7 Mitchell.
All right, people, you are now rocking with the best T7M Radio. This is the best of 7 sports talk with 7 Mitchell, man. Appreciate, salute to each and every one of y'all taking time out. Y'all already know how we do on this channel. We talk about everything crazy going down in the sports, so y'all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. Spread the word. Let everybody know that the new talk in sports is on deck, and we here, man. T7M Radio, best of 7 sports talk. Definitely appreciate y'all. I'm bringing the podcast to the streets every weekday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Y'all call up, man. We're going to debate. We're going to have so much fun coming into this upcoming NFL season and so much more, man. But today we got to definitely embrace debate. And we got to break this thing down because we're coming upon 1 year. September the 6th, I believe, in 2016 started the start of FS1's Undisputed, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. So we about a year in, and it's time to break down who has the best show. Is it FS1's Undisputed or is it ESPN's First Take? Let's lock in right now and figure out which one is the best show at this point. Again, the 7 Mitchell, T7M Radio, the best of 7 sports talk. Let's break this thing down, man. First Take versus Undisputed, almost a year in. Let's start off with the moderation. Shout out to Molly Kern, shout out to Joy Taylor. Now, both of these moderators are definitely knowledgeable. They definitely define what a moderator should be. Molly is really aggressive. I think sometimes Molly at times may do too much. She seems to at times want to be actually the face of the topic. Like, her opinion is definitely warranted at times, but I think she goes a little bit overboard trying to make her voice heard when people really, in all honesty, are not really checking for her at that time like they may be checking for Stephen A. or Max's opinion. Now, Joy Taylor, on the flip side, is not as aggressive with her moderation, but her opinion, for the most part, is always biased when it comes to Skip Bayless. Like, when you see Shannon and Skip go back and forth, she always lean towards Skip Bayless. And I get it, you know what I mean? This is the guy who really, not so to speak, signed the checks, but, you know, everything is revolved around Skip Bayless. This really is his show. So everybody going to walk on eggshells and really cater to Skip Bayless, especially in the first year. So I get it. I'm not saying that she's doing it wrong, but she's not really keeping it real if that's really the case. So, you know, it's kind of a preference, but I think they both dope. But if you ask me, as far as me, what I like, you know, you got to be real. You got to be real. And even though Molly sometimes talk too much and at the wrong time, she's never really fake with it. She doesn't play sides for Stephen A. or Max Kellerman. So I'm going with Molly Kerm, that be the best moderator for First Take. So that's one up. First Take on Undisputed. Now let's get into the supporting cast for both shows. Now, FS1 Undisputed, they got a lot of supporting cast because, you know, ESPN filed like over 100 employees. So you got Rob Parker, you are one of my favorites. You got Ray Lewis, Chris Broussard, Chris Carter. A lot of athletes that join the Undisputed show that really, I mean, they know about the game, of course, because they've been in it. But they just seem so narrow-minded, like if you don't play the sport or if you haven't played the sport, you really don't know as much. Like, and they just be sounding a lot stupid to me. I don't get a lot of knowledge on with the athletes coming out of Undisputed on FS1. Now, when you look at First Take for our supporting cast, you got Will Kane. And to me, that's all you need. I mean, we can get into a lot of other people, but Will Kane will pretty much beat everybody that I had mentioned, including Mark Slurf as well. I got Will Kane beating Rob Parker, doing him dirty, doing any of these people dirty when it comes to debate. So we're going to get into a little bit of Will Kane a little bit later. But I think Will Kane is definitely above all of these other guys. So as far as the supporting cast, I would ride with Will Kane instead of the Undisputed roster as far as the supporting cast. Now, topics, both shows are pretty neutral when it comes to topics as far as my decision. I think they both great. Of course, in sports, you're going to be all talking about the hot topics, but I think Undisputed and First Take do a great job of flipping it to their own catering, to their own liking. So you're getting the same topic, but they kind of got us different subtopics and categories within each show. So I definitely salute to that. Undisputed, without a doubt, have copied a lot of traits from First Take, from the way that it looked, a lot of things, that Skip Bayless, I'm sure, was familiar with back when he was with First Take. They brought over to Undisputed. So they really starting to get their own identity now, but you can definitely see some things that started at ESPN, and that ESPN is pretty much still doing that. Undisputed is following suit. But I think that the topics are pretty neutral. Now, as far as special guests, FS1 doesn't really stand out to me when it comes to special guests on the show. Of course, you got like Wayne and all those guys, cats that's usual suspects, same cats that's been on ESPN's First Take before. But if y'all remember, and this was probably just so shocking to me, ESPN First Take got Floyd Money Mayweather to come on the show. Like, that just sealed the deal for me. That sealed the deal for me because you know how disrespectful Skip Bayless has been to LeBron and Floyd. Very disrespectful to Floyd. And soon as Skip left, they got Floyd Mayweather on the show. I was like, book it, man. That's just the move of the year. Now, I do hold a little bit of accountability against First Take because Stephen A. Smith, we're going to keep it real. Stephen A. Smith, for all the talking that he does, and for him to be so knowledgeable and a lot of his history is behind the NBA, Stephen A. Smith, to me, don't have no pull when it comes to NBA, or it's real little. I mean, he does not have the ability to interview none of the top superstars in the NBA. I don't think he has the ability to interview none of the top 3 or 4 superstars in the NBA. He's violated LeBron James. He can't get an interview from LeBron. He violated KD. He can't get an interview from KD. Remember, he violated Steph Curry's wife. He has not and cannot get an interview from Steph Curry. He kind of violated Melo. Melo checked him while he was out of the country, but we haven't really seen much of Carmelo and Stephen A. Smith since then. So these are like 4 of the top 5 or, at least 4 of the top 10 superstars in the NBA. Stephen A. Smith cannot put his hands on. That's why we see in a lot of these interviews with Allen Iverson and, a lot of crazy stuff, like a lot of outdated things. So Stephen A. Smith is a little bit overhyped when it comes to that. But I think the Floyd Mayweather thing was just big time. And I got First Take edging FS1 when it comes to special guests and hosts because they really are doing a lot of carbon copying. Now let's get to the host. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of the debate between First Take and Undisputed. Again, this is 7 Mitchell, T7M Radio. You are now rocking with the best. This is the best of 7 Sports Talk. Skip and Shannon, Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman. We look at the chemistry. I am impressed with Skip and Shannon's chemistry during the first year. Shannon knew how to take a back seat. He's worked with Skip before, but he knew what he was up against. It looked like you knew Skip was going to try to be the spearhead of this thing, and it should be. This is his show, and I'm really liking the chemistry, and Shannon is really starting to come into his own. I don't know how long they're going to allow that to last. They may have to put a muzzle on Shannon Sharpe because Shannon be going real hard for the black people in the black community, which he should be. But we already know they always put a cap to that. You already see what they did to Rob Parker. And you see how people call Stephen A. Smith Uncle Toms and things of that nature. So it's going to be interesting to see how FS1 treats Shannon Sharpe over time. But I do like the chemistry with Skip and Shannon. Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, 2 knowledgeable guys. Max know his stuff. Stephen A. Smith know his stuff. I'm not really quite sure that was actually the best fit now that I'm looking at this whole year. When I look at the knowledge, I think they got it. They both knowledgeable. Shannon and Skip is knowledgeable. Skip is very knowledgeable. But I think Stephen A. Smith and Max is elite when it comes to the knowledge. When it comes to the chemistry, I preferably like Skips and Shannon. Best fit, I think, is Skip and Shannon. The availability, show times and vacation times. I think Skip and Shannon do a great job of feeding the people what they want. They on for, I believe, like 3 hours, and they start early. They start like an hour earlier than First Take. That was huge, starting at 9 o'clock versus starting at 10 o'clock and still being on at 12 when ESPN First Take go off. So that's a big advantage for Undisputed being starting like an hour early. And Stephen A. and Max take a whole lot of damn vacations, a lot of extended vacations. So you get a lot of guests and shit that I really don't like watching First Take when you be having all these other cats hosting the show, co-hosting the show. They do a pretty good job, but it just does not the same for me. So I'm really not sure. And then when you talk about chemistry, best fit, to be honest, when you look at how the things are going now, nothing is ever going to match Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless. Like, that was just an elite match made in heaven or hell. Whatever, however you want to look at it. But Will Kane should have got that spot when I look at it now over Max Kellerman. If you would have had Will Kane versus Stephen A. Smith debating Monday through Friday, every day of the week, we wouldn't even be having this conversation, because those guys are so disrespectful towards each other. I mean, they are a Christmas tree lit when it comes to debates, man. Stephen A. Smith and Will Kane, I mean, they go at it. And Will Kane and Max Kellerman seem to me they don't even like each other. I see a lot of respect, but they don't even like each other. But as far as the show, the entertainment, the knowledge, the excitement, and looking for that X factor that you didn't get from Skip, and you know, when Skip and Stephen A. had kind of when that split went, without question now, man, I think Will Kane would have been a much better fit for Max Kellerman, and that may have to be something that they may have to revisit. Max Kellerman may need to go off to bigger and better things, and they might need to squeeze Will Kane in, because as far as ratings, Will Kane gonna get it done. Y'all gotta put Will Kane in the driver's seat or give Will Kane his own show. Like, this is the last year y'all gonna have Will Kane playing this B role, this Robin role, because I really wasn't sold on him before when Skip and Stephen A. was there. I thought he was gonna be the person. It was Max. Max was schooling Stephen A. at the beginning that last year. I'm not gonna lie. September, October, when they came back, he was schooling Stephen A. Stephen A. always knew his stuff, but he was schooling Stephen A. real smooth. But now through time, Stephen A. done really seemed like he caught Max's weaknesses, and Max be pushing it to the limit, trying to prove certain facts. I like Will Kane, man, and I think that's definitely gonna have to be the move. So overall, man, when I look at this tail of the tape, when I break this all down, FS1 is fire, man. No doubt. Definitely one of the hottest shows in the game. They come on early. Real funny. Shannon in the zone. Skip in the zone. Gotta go. Show them a lot of respect. But as far as the best, ESPN, man, is doing more with less. Less employees, less help. And they still up there in the ratings, man, doing their thing. So, fan favorite, you can go with Undisputed in this first year, but I still got to go with ESPN First Take as being the #1 debate sports show out of the First Take Undisputed rivalry in year 1. Y'all let me know. Drop y'all comments, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what's your favorite show in your opinion. Is it Undisputed? Is it Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman's First Take? Y'all drop y'all comments below and let me know why, man. It's 7 Mitchell, T7M Radio. You now rocking with the best. This is the best of 7 Sports Talk. I'm out. Peace.